not playing this game that you mean girls play.
Yes.
Where like, oh, you know what? You can't sit at my lunch table because I'm just not talking to you. Not talking to you, you lost the election. Who the do you think you have to talk to?
So what the Bill Maher talking about? Like, Gavin, I don't even know where to start with any of this. And I don't know how old it is. But I think anyone who's watched Bill Maher in the last 5 years, will know exactly what I'm talking about. This idea that the Dems are the ones that don't want to reach across the aisle, that the Dems are the ones that only will work with Dems, that the Dems are the ones that aren't about unity. What the Literally, we just had a president about unity and coming together and got spit in the face by racism and hatred.
Stop being such a pussy.
Guys, the leftists are melting down again. What else is new? These guys have been melting down every freaking day since the 2024 election, where Donald Trump swept all of the swing states because they wanted communism in America. Donald Trump wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. I'm sure a lot of you guys wasn't having it. But Bill Maher is over here having the leftist meltdown even more because he has agreed to meet Donald Trump. Now, the date is not confirmed, but he was having a conversation with Kid Rock, and he actually had agreed to do it, or they talked about maybe doing it with Kid Rock. But then on another recent episode of Club Random, he had a discussion with Andrew Schulz where he confirmed that he was indeed going to be meeting with Donald Trump.
When we see people that are afraid of having conversations, I think there's like almost like a primal instinctual reaction to it.
Yeah, it's not American.
It's un-American. And I think that was, I don't want to politicize this shit, but like I think that was a little bit of the concern with Kamala on the campaign trail. You know, it looked like Trump was willing to talk to whoever.
He was.
He was. Like his camp, when we spoke to him, they didn't give us any notes.
He's going to talk to me. Okay.
Do you know, and think about all this.
Who's been meaner than me? You know, be respectful, which he deserves. He won not one, but twice. Like, funny, my girl said to me, "What are you going to wear?" I said, "I'm not going to dress like Zelensky."
Not a fucking Lululemon outfit.
It's not going to be a black T-shirt. I'll tell you that.
Lindsay pulled up looking like a yoga instructor.
Not going to be a black T-shirt, man. I keep saying it. I'm not going to hate. You can not like Trump. You can hate him. You can't hate everybody who vote for him.
Yes, and you have to understand why.
I said it in my last special. I don't hate half the country, and I don't want to hate half the country.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not where my mind ever wants to go for my own mental health.
Yeah.
Is all this hate. Kid Rock was here a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "I want you to meet Trump." He said, "I'm going to take you to the White House." So now we're going to do that.
I think that's
and like
a good
there will be
conversation.
lots of people on the left who will be like, "How dare you talk to this man?" I was like,
yeah.
You know, I'm not playing this game that you mean girls play.
Yes.
Where like, oh, you know what? You can't sit at my lunch table because I'm just not talking to you. Not talking to you, you lost the election. Who the do you think you have to talk to? You know, it's one thing if you win it.
Yeah.
It's another thing if you lose it.
You got to start talking to people.
Have to talk. And I see Gavin Newsom is doing this now. He's changed his tune. He's got a podcast, and the first guest was Charlie Kirk.
I thought that was...
You know,
I thought that was brilliant.
He mentioned me. He said, like, I take I'm noticing what Bill does, talks to both sides, like is left leaning, but not afraid to criticize the people on his team. Like, we got to get more of this going.
100% agree with Bill Maher here. Okay, Bill Maher, we're one step closer to red-pilled Bill Maher, to MAGA hat wearing Bill Maher, because this guy is using his brain. He's using common sense. He has one, but he's succumbed to the propaganda like so many others. He believes stupid stuff. This guy has a history of being completely afraid of Donald Trump.
Were you despondent when Trump was elected? Did you think, oh my God, this isn't the country I thought it was?
I was afraid for my own well-being. I thought I could wind up in Guantanamo Bay. I think I still could. I mean, he was ranting about me all last week again. He's obsessed sometimes. I don't know. He went on a tear for about 8 months when he was president. Every time he'd have a rally, I have a list 3 pages long of the things he's called me.
Bill Maher, right? Everybody know Bill Maher, for example? He's a radical left maniac with modest television ratings, right? Modest.
Depressed nut job, low rating sleazebag. And he was doing it again last week. He doesn't
ratings.
like that I'm on CNN.
Yeah.
I don't know why that gets to him. He doesn't like it.
Oh, he's doing it now since
He's
you
doing it
started doing the
now.
thing on Friday nights.
Yes. He doesn't like that.
On Truth Social, he does it.
Or in a rally.
Yeah.
He doesn't like that Fox quotes me. When Fox quotes me, and of course, Fox will watch one of my shows. 90% of it might be material that they hate, but they take out of it.
No, they do the even liberal Bill Maher.
Right. Exactly.
That's what they do to you every time.
Right. You have to preface it by saying, look, we hate this guy. He's awful. But, he said one good thing. And Trump, that drives. So I don't know. So I'm afraid of Trump on a very personal level because I don't think he likes me. I understand why. And I don't know what he would do in a second term. I mean, he is obviously someone who does not know any boundaries. And, you have to worry when you see what other authoritarian rulers do in other countries to people. I'm not thinking he's going to become Putin and start pushing people out windows, but I'm not going to live on the 30th floor anywhere either.
Obviously, none of the stupid stuff that this guy just said happened at any point, but he's talking about Guantanamo Bay. You think they're just going to put you in prison? I mean, yeah, if you start talking about you support Hamas or something, then yeah, sure, they might take and try to throw you in jail, but I don't know if they're taking to Guantanamo Bay, but they might start thinking you're a terrorist if you start throwing up terrorist gang signs, and they might think that you're a terrorist. But otherwise, just speaking bad about Trump, you got The View talk bad about Trump every day. You got MSNBC, CNN, they literally make stuff up and they're fine. So there's no problems if the cackling hens could get up there and stupidly denigrate Trump, calling him a grapist. I mean, they're not even getting sued and stuff for this. The only person who got sued is Stephanopoulos because him and Trump have a past, but that's neither here nor there. But I think that's the main reason why he wanted to sue Stephanopoulos, is because Trump had low-key a vendetta against that little sniveling, pin-headed little coward. But I know how this conversation is going to go. First off, it's going to uplift, of course, Maher's platform even more. And the leftists are mad because they feel like it's going to give Trump a platform. Hello, Trump has a platform anywhere. He don't need Bill Maher. Bill Maher needs Trump, not the other way around. That's just a stupid thing to say. But really, it's one of those things where it can allow more people to understand Trump if there's a conversation, especially if it's a recorded conversation, which we don't know if it's going to be that or if it's just going to be like a private conversation that they'll talk about later. But it's something that can effectively get more people to support Trump than before if you get people like Bill Maher has become, ironically, middle of the road in today's modern time politics. So if you get more of those middle of the road people to say, hey, you know what, I was wrong about a lot of the stupid stuff I believed about Trump, then that's a good thing. But I know one of the things that he's going to harp on is election denial and legitimacy of elections and stuff like that. That's what Bill Maher's main thing, that he loves to hold on to this crutch. But did y'all know that Bill Maher has a history of calling Donald Trump an illegitimate president himself?
The left doesn't do a version. I mean, they should not have been about Trump is not a legitimate president. He's an that was wrong. I agree. And when John Lewis said he was not a legitimate president,
Yes.
I assume you're on that page.
I am on that page because he's not a legitimate president.
I would agree with that, but he is the president. I mean, it's one of those you have to keep two thoughts in your head at the same time. We do have a president.
Yes.
We are still Americans. He is the American president. I agree. He didn't get there quite legitimately.
I hope sincerely that Donald Trump sees this or somebody shares it with him so that he knows, like, hey, didn't you call me illegitimate too? Back in the day, like, you might not have said, oh, the election was rigged, but still, I mean, what does illegitimate even mean? It means something akin to rigged election, fraudulent. It means something akin to that. So what does illegitimate mean, Bill? Don't come at me with the hypocrisy, because this is what the left loves to do, is say that the right is doing something horrendous, like being authoritarian or anti-amendments or, you know, anti-constitution or whatever, but then they love to tear down the First Amendment, Second Amendment. If they could get rid of all of them when convenient, they would. But the leftists don't like the fact that this is happening because they don't want to talk to conservative voices. It's really ironic that this stupid person earlier in the video was saying, well, the people on the left talk to the people on the right and reach out all the time. No, they literally had admitted that they didn't want Kamala Harris to talk to Joe Rogan, who is not a right winger, by the way. He's not a Republican. But James Carville, Democrat strategist, had admitted that people who worked for the Kamala campaign did not want to have Kamala talk to Joe Rogan because they felt like he was on the right. Why talk to him?
The vice president was thinking about going on Joe Rogan's show, and a lot of the younger progressive staffers pitched a hissy fit. Supposedly the campaign said that that wasn't the term effective, but they did. When you put a campaign together and you hire young people to do work, let me tell you exactly what you tell these people, what I would tell them. Not only am I not interested in your fucking opinion, I'm not even going to call you by your name. You're 23 years old. I don't really give a shit what you think. And let me tell you another huge error, huge fucking error that's made, is when people said campaigns need to reflect progressive values. No, they don't. No, they don't. Campaigns are authoritarian by their nature. And if I were running a 2028 campaign and I had some little snot-nosed 23-year-old saying, I'm going to resign if you don't do this, not only would I fire that motherfucker on the spot, I would find out who hired them and fire that person on the spot. I'm really not interested in your uninformed, stupid, jackass opinion as to whether you go on Joe Rogan or not.
You would think these people live under a rock or something. A lot of people freak out anytime somebody on the left, Joe Scarborough, they freaked out at him. Charlie Kirk with Gavin Newsom and Steve Bannon. Like, when all of these conversations happen, people on the left freak the hell out. Cenk Uygur is getting cussed out and called a bitch by a person who works for his organization, and they still work there because Cenk is too afraid of being called anti-free speech.
What did it get you? Nothing. You know why? Because you look like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? You look like a bitch. That's what it is. Like, that's just what it comes down to. You don't look like a fighter. You don't look smart. You look like a bitch. That's just the reality.
So he still got somebody at his job that he hired and has on payroll calling him a bitch, and he not firing him. This guy is more than a bitch. He's a simp for not hiring this woman, or not firing this woman for cussing him out and making him look like a fool on his platform. But all of these people I just listed, the left freaks out every single time. So to try to pretend as though this is not a thing, there's a reason why Bill is saying it, because he knows that there is crazy, deranged leftists. Like, you see some of the weirdos in this video, like the pearl clutcher.
Pearl clutch. Apparently Kid Rock's gonna take Bill Maher to the White House to meet with Trump. I mean, they might as well take Snoop Dogg and have a good old time. I mean, Bill, I think you might have smoked too much. Just saying, pearl clutch.
So it was just announced that Bill Maher will be visiting the White House to meet Donald Trump. Apparently this was facilitated by Kid Rock. Now, I've been saying this about Bill Maher for several years now. I think he's a phony. I think he's two-faced. I think he's fake. He's certainly very intelligent. He's talented. But I secretly think there might be a possibility that Bill Maher has wanted to be MAGA for quite some time now. He's moved to the right on a lot of different issues. So I think he deserves to be getting a lot of shit for this. And I'm extremely disappointed in him. Why would you want to meet Donald Trump? Unless it was a one-on-one meeting where behind closed doors you could say whatever you want to him, it seems like he wants to mingle with Donald Trump. Why do I say that? Because their mutual friend Kid Rock has facilitated this, and it's probably going to be a friendly encounter. I actually think Bill Maher is full of shit. I think he's lost all credibility for doing this, and I'm extremely disappointed in him.
I mean, guys, these people are Looney Tunes, and if obviously they keep losing people, then you're not going to have anyone left. If y'all lose Bill Maher used to be a far left, what would be considered a far leftist, and a Kasparian. If y'all lose these types of people, man, the Democrat Party is truly cooked. Like, then you pretty much gonna have nothing but radicals and angry black people left, angry, gullible black people left. Because even a lot of angry ones are smart enough to see through this nonsense. Like, oh, this is the party of the transes and illegal immigrants. No. We're not buying it. A lot of us. I mean, well, a lot of black people are, but a lot of us aren't. Okay, there's a big coalition. Trump got voters to the amount of constituents he had increased in all areas for every type of demographic that's tracked. So there's clearly something wrong here with the Democrat Party, and if they don't wake up, this is truly going to become a one-party nation. It has nothing to do with Trump being an authoritarian. They're just going to make it a one-party nation because the Democrats are just so damn sorry. But you guys better hope that people like Bill Maher can bring some common sense back. People like Jake Uger, Anna Kasparian, all these other people out here who are actually doing some sort of outreach. Hell, even AOC did outreach at one point, try to understand people. I don't agree with nothing that this lunatic says, but she does it too. Gavin Newsom, stop hating on people trying to talk to people. These people just want to live in a bubble so bad. I mean, I say, let some of those weirdos, on one hand, if you let them, then it'll be easier to win elections. But on the other hand, if they somehow manage to win, then you're going to have a very crazy, deranged, Looney Tune America. So I say, I don't want that. Let's let the conversations happen. We'll have a better fight. But even if we happen to at some point lose the fight, at least we might still be safe. Because I don't want to have people that's so mentally deranged and unstable where they somehow win an election and then all of a sudden the country just burned down and these people still find a way to blame Republicans for it who not in office like they did under the Biden administration. But these are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching The Black Anomaly. Rise from the channel. I'm out.
Like, just write down all the things he said in tweets and at rallies. It's 5 pages long. Crazy, low energy, ratings disaster. Every bad thing that he just pulls out of his ass. But I don't care, and he doesn't care.
He doesn't care either.
He doesn't care.
And you don't give a
It's all performative. Look.
No, you guys might feel it, but it wouldn't stop you guys from having a discussion with other because you're not pussies.
We're not pussies.